Shalom, shalom, shalom. Start this lesson by giving all glory, honor, praises unto YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHWASHI, BAHASHAM, RICANS. Double honors to the elders and apostles, a great millstone to teach you well. Peace and salutations be to the elect. Brother Tazo, I'm coming at you from the GMS Tampa camp down here in Tampa, Florida. This lesson is going to be titled, Trump converts 23 giant warehouses into ICE Detention Centers. Okay, basically FEMA camps. Alright. And this happened. This article was released on February 1st, 2026. Let's go and look up the date on January 30th, 2026. The Justice Department released over 3 million pages of the documents, 180,000 images, and 2,000 videos related to Epstein. Deputy Attorney General Todd Salaki. That's really all we need, but so you see how January 30th they released them files, and February 1st this article dropped saying Trump converts 23 giant warehouses into ICE detention centers. So you see how they're in a race. Okay, you come to find out in the files that were released that Trump is being blackmailed by his stepson or whatever, who's a small hat. Basically, he's been blackmailed by the small hats and being threatened with the files, like everybody assumed. Okay, and because he didn't make the tax on Iran, people thought that the files were released because he didn't want to make those attacks at said time. Now he's still being held. Forgot how they said it. I think they said the president is being compromised. All right. Trump has been compromised, which he has. He can't do what he wants to do as the president of America. He has to do what the small hats want him to do. This is from End Time Headlines. It says, the violent clashes that are causing so much chaos in the streets of our major cities aren't going to stop. Tens of thousands of anti-ICE activists have already been recruited, and more are joining their ranks with each passing day. At this stage, the only thing that could put a lid on the volcano of fury that we are witnessing would be if President Trump decided to pull ICE out of all our cities and stop deportations. Of course, there is no way that is going to happen. In fact, as you will see below, Trump is now converting 23 enormous warehouses, okay, which I can't see the rest of the writing, so it's a screenshot, but he's converting 23 enormous warehouses, okay, in America to ICE detention centers, as we know what the title says. It's putting the pieces together. And we know what's going to go down in these big old detention centers, man. Alright, the prophets, the apostles, the elders and apostles, a great millstone on down have been telling you what was coming. And here it is. Alright, happening right before our very eyes. Which I believe the elder brother Natazakba went into it. His page GMS South Carolina. He went into it. The black list, blue list, red list. I think it was a yellow list too. black, blue, red, and yellow list. Alright, which they have plans for FEMA. When these things unfold, everybody's already on a list. Okay. But you know what the red list is. They're seeking to put to death those who go against the NWO. Alright, and which they've been talking about, bringing about this NWO. Okay, there's no turning back from that now. Alright. Trump has made a major push to for all businesses to integrate AI into their infrastructure. Alright, a lot of these businesses are cutting off jobs so that AI can have its time to shine and reign over the company. Okay? ChatGPT has become like a god to these people. Alright, she had an article drop not too long ago saying that colleges are being threatened by ChatGPT. Alright, because the students ain't really studying for the tests and the curriculum anymore. They're using ChatGPT to answer all the questions for them. Alright? Which everybody can agree that ChatGPT is a better teacher than these college teachers, professors, because it breaks everything down, gets straight to the point, and gives you what you're looking for in an instant. Okay? Instead of you having to go and research and dig and find and look. Alright? It speaks to you as a person would and gives you the answers. Okay? And breaks it down how you want it to. So here it is. The NWO is at the brinks. Is at the shore. Okay, now it's walking up the sand to get to the city, which is the world. Alright? But you see how on January 30th these things were released. And more about Trump, who claims he's not in there, has been revealed for him to be in there. Right? And the atrocities he has done. All of a sudden, 23 giant warehouses have been converted into ICE detention centers. But you know what they're going to do on these things, bro. Okay? They coming down with it, man. At the same time, you got the small hats over there making AI apps and companies and business models. All these things to protect their identity as the so-called Jews. Okay? Lock here, bear with me. And also, to change things to their liking. I was just watching a video earlier today. I forget the guy's name, but he was saying how you had Tucker Carlson in an interview with this guy. He was a small hat. Tucker Carlson asked him. He said, "What determines like the answers of ChatGPT and AI?" Because at the end of the day, it's all going to boil down to a moral sense. Somebody's behind, alright, the answers that AI is giving out. Somebody has to, when people are asking questions about morality to AI, somebody's going to have to give their input and give the answers that AI is able to answer. Okay? Which you have the small hats playing a big part in that too now. Find out that they bought majority of AI or ChatGPT in order to change the answers to questions to their liking. Okay, so yeah, you may be able to go in there and get a math equation solved, but when you go in there looking for who's the true people of Israel, okay, you got to be careful because ChatGPT is going to favor the small hats in that answer. And many answers according to the things that is the ways of the world, man. All right. So let's go ahead and get started with some scriptures. I got a few scriptures I had in mind. All right. Starting off in 2nd Ezra. And bear with me, this isn't in transit. Second Ezra chapter 16 and verse Yeah, let me grab that in the GNT, matter of fact. It's just hard to scrape the GNT up on this search engine, man. Google search engine. Second Esdras 1668. And the GNT. Here it is. Second Esdras chapter 16 and verse 68 in the GNT, and it reads, a vast mob of people is ready now. A vast mob of people is ready now to descend on you and devour you like flames. So this devil is getting ready, and a lot of people liken the ICE, okay, these ICE troops to Trump's own personal army, okay. But you dig deeper, you come to find out that many of the ICE officers were trained by IDF, which is Israeli Defense Forces. All right, and you even have some small hats working for ICE. Okay, trying to figure out why these people getting shot. All right, ICE is they're another little army supporting Israel. Okay, or I should say the state of Israel. Which you also, I would say his name, but I just saw a post earlier today, which also was talking about Benjamin, not a Jew. Benjamin, not a Jew. Okay, you know what I'm saying? It's talking about how criticism against him, mentioning in his name, can come with consequences, or can get you targeted or persecuted. Okay, it can become a criminal offense. All right, so you see how freedom of speech is being targeted. So I saw a post today, brother shared in the chat, how the Second Amendment is being targeted, which is the freedom to bear arms, or the right to bear arms. They're coming for your guns. And it's the reason they're doing these things, so that you can't start an uprising or a war against them when they're coming down with that great wrath against you, which is going to happen. Okay? It says, matter of fact, I'll start at verse 66. What will you do then? All right. What will you do then? How will you hide your sins from YAHAWASHI and his angels? Okay. Which these devils are being influenced by left-hand sided angels to bring forth the judgment of the Lord, YAHAWASHI. All right. So you see that a great time of judgment is already at hand. What are you going to do? Are you going to continue to live an evil, wicked life? Or are you going to turn your life towards the Lord, YAHAWASHI, before it's too late? All right. The nighttime approaches when no man can work. Very soon now, we ain't gonna be able to come out and teach like we used to, or teach on these social media platforms like we used to. As you can see, great control is hovering over America and over social media and all aspects of life as we speak. All right, like we just brought out, or we are bringing out. It says in 68, but we're gonna get to it. It says, YAHAWASHI is your judge, so fear him, abandon your sins. So it's telling you what to do. Put away all the evil, or select it. Put away the evil you have done and never sin again. Then YAHAWASHI will save you from all these disasters. So all the disasters coming towards the earth, you gotta understand there's instructions on how to avoid getting targeted by that. How to avoid being caught up in all these destructions and disasters that's coming to the world, and especially America, chiefly. Okay? Second Esdras 16 and 67 tells you how to avoid those disasters. All right. 68 says, a vast mob of people is ready now to descend on you and devour you like flames. They will drag some of you off and force you to eat pagan sacrifices. And where do you think they're going to drag you off to? These big ass giant warehouses that they've converted into ICE detention centers, man. They no longer are pulling you or pulling up on you and asking you, are you from here? They pulling up on you, grabbing you up, okay, and asking questions later. All right, which there's no telling what they might have done to you before they have asked those questions. They might have beat your ass, blew your front door in, broke into your house, shot a few people, shot a few of your family members, and then captured you, brought you in for questioning. It don't work like that. It's no longer well, it never was, but ICE is not a census. They're not coming in and knocking on your door and asking you how many relatives you have, where you from, how long you lived here, okay? It's not a census. It's not what you think it is, okay? That's what they want to make it seem like, but it's not. It's really a terrorist organization, okay? Hosted by your president himself, and really higher forces than him, those who are blackmailing him, okay? This devil can't do what he wants. You find out that his whole presidency has been controlled by his stepson, which is a small hat, meaning the things that's been happening in America has been controlled by the small hats across the seas, okay? If you still don't know that the state of Israel, so-called, is the headquarters for America, you got some researching to do, some waking up to do. And after these files have been released, what today is? The 4th? Released 5 days ago, 4 or 5 days ago. So much information has been flooding the internet. For all these pictures, all these things have been released. So much knowledge is being poured out about what these devils are doing behind closed doors. As the scriptures say, the things that are done in darkness shall come to light. Okay? And these things are being brought to the light now, and these devils are being exposed. And people are finding out, damn, man, I put my trust in this nigga. Yeah, I put my trust in these guys, and this is what they've been doing the whole time. All right, people are finding out that the so-called conspiracy theorists were never conspiracy theorists. Which, if you do your research and digging on that too, that was a word invented to hide the truth. Okay, to furthermore make these people that are coming out with the truth look like crazy psychopaths, are mentally unstable. When really they telling you what's really going on. All right. It says, if you give in to them, they will ridicule you, mock you, and humiliate you. They don't really care about you. You know, have you seen the rules in these devils' Torah? Okay, they call you goyim. All right, they don't care what They don't care about you goyim. They consider you sacrificable. All right, they consider you nothing and less than nothing, as the Lord considers them nothing and less than nothing. They think themselves to be the higher power. This is who we're dealing with. All right, it says, in many places near the cities there will be violent persecution against those who fear the Lord. So they're coming with violent persecutions against us. And that's what it's all cracking down to. All right, their biggest target right now is anti-Semitism. Okay, they're coming down heavy on the American people, so-called. All right, they're really mad about the anti-Semitism, which is the next target. Okay, which is really the true target. They're just laying the groundwork right now for that. By targeting so-called immigrants, they're laying the groundwork for persecuting the righteous and those who fear the Lord and those who speak against these niggas' names. Okay, to expose them for the lies and the tyranny and the tyrants and the wicked devils that they truly are. So the attackers will act like wild people. They will plunder and destroy without pity all those who still fear the Lord. Okay, they will turn them out of their homes and take away all their possessions. This sounds like what ICE is doing already. Okay, they practicing to comfort the righteous. All right, why do you think they're immune now to things like murders? They're murdering these people in the streets, and they have immunity. If they've been granted immunity, it's got to be because they have some special right to do the things that they're doing, and that can only be granted to them by who? The small hats. You guessed it, the small hats. that means the small hats have a major hand in ICE. Alright? So when they put you down, they can't be held accountable for it because they consider you like Goyim. They consider you as nothing anyways. If you disobey them or get attitude, whatever it may be, get flustered, they're liable to put you down and have no consequences for it. To take a man from his family and have no consequences for it, that sounds like what the scriptures we're reading. It says, don't be afraid. This will be the time of testing for my chosen people, and they will prove to be as pure as refined gold. So they're going to start doing the same thing they're doing now, except on a higher level, with more consequences towards the people who resist. Okay? They're going to become more lethal, more deadly and dangerous. All right? And they're going to become more targeting towards who? The men of the Lord, those who fear the Lord, the prophets. All right, the righteous, because they see that their kingdom is falling. They see that the way the world is unfolding, and they're trying to position themselves in a way that will set them up to be rulers over the world forever. But they see that grasp that they have on the world, that they had on the world, is now slipping. So now what are they doing? Revelation 12:12, coming down with great wrath. All right. We'll grab that next, matter of fact. But let's finish this up. But listen to what the Lord says, my chosen people. The time of terrible suffering is near, but I will rescue you. Don't be afraid or have any doubts. I am your power, and I will lead you. So we're not worried about any of these things that's coming, because the Lord is our power. He's going to lead us down the right direction, down the right path. Okay? He's going to keep us away from danger and away from you devils. All right? You tyrants. Okay? You liars. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 12 and verse 12. And the NLT. So I can bear with me. Making this turn. Therefore rejoice, O heavens, and you who live in the heavens, rejoice. But terror will come on the earth and the sea. For the devil has come down to you in great anger, knowing that he has little time. This devil knows he has a little time to make his face shine for the new age. He knows that a new age is coming. All right? Just by the shift in technology, the shift in currency, our economic favor, all right, the shift in reputation, he knows that he has a little time. All these things are proof of it. All right? So he's coming down having great wrath because he's out of time. He's putting niggas down now. All right, and openly targeting you jakes, okay, because he knows he's running out of time. He knows who's got up next. He knows the people he enslaved, and he knows now that their Lord is coming to deliver them, okay, from his tyranny. So the time is running short on this devil's time to rule, okay, and fast. So he's making haste. Little does he know that haste that he makes is going to bring us closer to the Lord all the quicker. All right. Grab this. Matthew. Look at all the things they've done with this AI moderation. All right. They're able to target you. And they've been training this AI for a long time. And it's already happening in different countries. But this AI is catching people who are speaking or have some type of mindset and a following against the small hats and against the NWO. And they are already targeting them and labeling them on what? The red list. Okay, the black list. All right. Matthew chapter 10 verse 18 says, and he shall be brought, well, let's grab it. If few verses before. Matthew chapter 10 verse 17 says, "But beware of men, for they will deliver you up to the councils, and they will scourge you in their synagogues. And ye shall be brought before kings, and ye shall be brought before governors and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them and the Gentiles." Okay. It says, "But when they deliver you up, take no thought how or what ye shall speak, for it shall be given you in the same hour what ye shall speak." Okay. So they finna deliver us up, man. They finna seek to put hands on us and deliver us up. Okay. To these governors, presidents, all right, commanders, captains, whatever. They seeking to put hands on us, man. All right, and they finna use family members, all right, cousins, brothers, sisters, mothers, to infiltrate and find you and locate you, target you, okay, to get you delivered into their hands. They're going to be putting rewards out, bounties on your head, all right? So much so to the point where it says, scripture say, a brother shall betray a brother to death, and the father the son, and the son the father, okay? Second Ezra tells you, a friend shall fight against each other like enemies. We're coming into a time where it's going to be great division in the world, all right? And if you don't believe it, then let me grab this for you. Oh, that was back then, bro. It happened to the 12 disciples, bro. Yeah, whatever. Nothing. Let's grab it. You know what I'm looking for. Because all these things are going to happen again. Yeah, it happened before, but it's going to happen again. Ecclesiastes 1:9 in the NLT says, "History merely repeats itself. It has all been done before. Nothing under the sun is truly new." Okay? So history is going to repeat itself. This happens every time. Whenever these devils are threatened, their rulership is threatened, who do you think they target? Those who got up next. Okay? Deep down, they know who's got next. Alright? Yeah, it seems like Russia is threatening their rulership. China's threatening their rulership. The BRICS currency is threatening them. But they know the true threats. They know whose blood is on their hands. And they know the power of that blood. Alright? It says, Ecclesiastes 1:9 in the NIV, what has been, it says, what has been will be again. What has been done will be done again. There is nothing new under the sun. So, yeah, you can say this happened already. This happened way back then, okay? But it's going to happen again. And that's why we bring these scriptures. The scriptures say the things written aforetime was written for our learning. All right? So we're reading the scriptures now for our time now. And it has been so all throughout history. All right? Well, during the time of YAHAWASHI, they had the scriptures only to a certain point. Okay? They didn't have as many as we have now. They had it to a certain point. They had the Old Testament. Okay? So that's all they went by. That Old Testament was written for their learning at the time of YAHAWASHI. Here it is now, after that, what was it called? Salakia. Give me 1 minute to jog my memory. The falling away. After the falling away, all right, we've come back to our true identities, language, law, statutes, and commandments, and knowledge of who we really are as a people. Okay? And what that means for us and for those who have opposed us and oppressed us. Okay? So the scriptures up to date have been written for our learning who dwell in these times. Scriptures say great torments are prepared for those who should dwell in the latter times. All right? That's for now. Okay? These devils are getting ready to come down with this full sweep. There ain't no more ways around it. Look at these detention centers that I brought up. It's really FEMA camps. They said enormous warehouses, giant warehouses. It's not just a fucking Dollar Tree up the road. No, it's a giant warehouse. If you ever worked inside of a warehouse of a big company, okay, they have these huge warehouses with all that. It can be filled with cages. It can be filled with cages on the first floor, second floor, and maybe even a third floor, which is what they're gonna put Jake in. All right. And if you don't want to conform to their NWO, all right, they're going to do what? Put you on the chopping block. All right. They finna get the chopping. Okay, so Lord willing, this lesson was edifying to you. Occupant out wathul, listening to truth and sincerity. To next to Mashrallah, I give all glory, honor, praises unto Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHWASHI, BAHASHAM, Shalom.